The wind curled through the spires of Brenna 12 like a living thing, wailing across the domed outposts and searing the breath from anyone unlucky enough to walk the perimeter during a whiteout. Elliot Harlow did just that each evening. Maintenance of the geothermal spires fell to the senior systems engineer, a role no one else wanted. His boots sank into fresh ice crust, breath fogging the inside of his mask. Overhead, the auroras danced, turquoise and copper ribbons sliding against a violet sky. A noise broke the silence near Vent 13, not the hiss of escaping steam, but a muffled sob. Elliot halted. "Hello." He followed the sound until he saw her, curled between two industrial ducts, her skin the shimmering hue of deep ocean cobalt, arms wrapped around something small. She blinked up at him, eyes silver like moonlight and wide with fear. "Please," she rasped, her translator pendant crackling, "help us." Elliot dropped to one knee. Nestled in her embrace was a child, barely breathing, her skin flushed strangely golden beneath a sheen of frost. The infant's closed eyes pulsed faintly with inner light. "My name is Vila," the woman whispered. "This is Mila, we are not safe." He knew the rules. Undocumented aliens were detained, interrogated, often never seen again. Brenna 12 wasn't a haven. It was a resource node, and life had little value here. Elliot made his choice in a heartbeat. "Can you walk, follow me, stay in my steps?" With Mila pressed close to his chest, her warmth surprising even through layers of thermal fabric, he led them into the maintenance tunnels. The girl made a soft sound as they passed under an emergency light. For a heartbeat, her eyes opened, glowing golden as if holding twin suns. Elliot barely got them into his private quarters before locking down the thermal shields. Vila collapsed beside the heating conduit. Her arms trembled as she reached for her child. Elliot fetched nutrient packets and a hydration pack, his mind racing. "How long has she been like this?" "Since we escaped the crystal caverns," Vila answered. "Since the fall of my people." Elliot froze. He had studied xenocultures in university, had seen reference images of the Trilixari elite. The glowing eyes, the skin patterns. "You were royalty." Vila nodded slowly. "But that world is gone, only Mila remains." Elliot crouched beside them, watching as the child drank slowly. The golden glow in her eyes brightened with each swallow. It wasn't illness, it was something awakening. He leaned back against the wall and exhaled. Outside, a storm howled. Inside, something new had begun. The next days passed in a quiet rhythm, broken only by Mila's occasional soft cries and the distant moan of ice winds against the thermal seals. Vila remained near the heating vent, rarely sleeping. When Elliot brought food, she accepted it silently but always gave it to her daughter first. It was the third night when she finally spoke more than a few words. "I should tell you who we are," she said, watching the shadows dance on the ceiling. Elliot sat across from her, a hot drink steaming in his hands. "You already told me enough to risk everything, but I'm listening." "I was born beneath the twin sons of Trilixer," she began, "in the Temple of the Illumined. Our bloodline carries a pattern of light, a bond passed only once in 1,000 years, when the child is born from the union of love and power. Mila is the first in 3 cycles." Elliot tried to comprehend it. A living legacy. Vila nodded. Her eyes mark her. They will only brighten. She is not sick. She is emerging. Mila stirred, eyes flickering gold even in sleep. Light shimmered briefly over her fingertips. Elliot felt something shift in his chest. Awe, fear, reverence. "I think I've already seen her do more," he said. A cup levitated just a bit. The room got warmer. "Then it has begun." That night they stayed awake long after Mila had drifted back to sleep. Vila told him of the fall of her people, of soldiers in black armor, of vaults collapsing around sacred scrolls. Her voice was steady, but the way her fingers trembled betrayed the pain. Elliot reached across the space between them, resting his hand gently on hers. She didn't pull away. "I can't fix what you've lost," he said, "but I can protect what's left." Vila met his gaze, her luminous eyes softening. "Why would you?" Elliot hesitated, then answered honestly. "Because I see you, not just your skin or your patterns or the glow in Mila's eyes. I see you, and I think I was meant to find you in the snow." Silence settled between them, comfortable, real. Under the pale light of Brenna 12's moons, Elliot and Vila sat side by side while the child of stars slept nearby. her dreams flickering golden against the walls. The first message came as a pulse of light on Elliot's terminal, anonymous, untraceable. "They're watching you. Shut down in 20 hours. Take the vent routes." He read it twice, heart-hammering. Rumors had already begun, whispers in the corridors. Someone had seen a glow behind his thermal shields. Someone had heard an infant's cry when no child was registered. When he returned home that night, Mila was floating. Not far, only a few inches, but enough to make Elliot freeze in place. She hovered, bathed in soft, golden luminescence, her eyes closed, breath steady. Vila reached for her daughter, and the glow dimmed as Mila gently settled into her arms. "It's getting stronger," Vila said, voice tight with worry. "She doesn't understand how to stop it." Elliot ran a trembling hand through his hair. "Then we're out of time. We move tonight." With supplies bundled into thermosacks and Mila wrapped tightly in insulating layers, they slipped into the maintenance tunnels beneath the colony, an endless warren of warmth and shadow. At Junction 6, Mila cried out, her body convulsing with light. Patterns rippled across her skin in fractal waves. Elliot caught her just in time, shielding her glow from a camera above. "She's burning up." Vila knelt beside them. "She's transitioning too fast. This shouldn't be happening yet." A sudden voice from the shadows made Elliot turn. Because she was never meant to awaken in this place. A figure emerged, tall, robed, red-skinned. His features were angular, noble, his eyes like carved garnet. Glowing tattoos marked his forearms in ceremonial designs. "You're one of them," Vila breathed, "one of the flamebound." "I am Eshka," he said, bowing. "I once served the Illuminators before the fall. I followed your trail through the frost. Your daughter called to me." Elliot shielded Mila closer. "Why should we trust you?" "Because the colony's sensors will find you within the hour, and because only I know the way to the sanctuary." Vila met Eshka's gaze, something ancient and instinctive passing between them. She nodded. "Show us." Through narrowing shafts of warmth and corridors choked with steam, Eshka led them deep beneath Brenna 12, far beyond the authorized grids. Old conduits lined with crystallized mineral formations shimmered faintly. Mila stirred, her light reflecting like stardust. Finally, Eshka pushed open a rusted pressure door. Beyond lay a chamber unlike anything Elliot had seen, natural rock fused with alien technology, veins of bioluminescent fungus casting soft green glow. Nests of thermal moss cushioned every surface. "Rest here," Eshka said. "She will need it." Elliot laid Mila on a bed of moss. Her fever had cooled, the light in her skin steady. Vila sat beside her, singing softly in Triliksari tongue. Eshka stood watch, one hand over his heart. "This place," Elliot said quietly, "what is it?" "A cradle for what was lost," Eshka replied, "and perhaps what can be born anew." Night fell thick around the hidden sanctuary, but inside, the glow from Mila's resting form bathed the chamber in soft radiance. Elliot sat nearby, exhausted but alert, his eyes never leaving the small girl. Eshka crouched near a runic panel etched into the wall. His fingers traced it slowly, and symbols shimmered with faint violet light. "She's stabilizing," he said without turning. "But this awakening, it is not natural, it's accelerated." Vila, her arms wrapped around her knees, responded softly. "I've felt it too, as if something in this world calls to her, pushes her beyond what she's ready for." Elliot looked to the child. "What does it mean?" Eshka stood. "Mila is not merely heir to a throne long lost. She is what our sages called a convergence child. Her essence touches ecosystems. Her presence can tilt the balance of planets." Vila's breath caught. "A shaper." "Yes," Eshka confirmed. "And she has awakened in a dying colony that does not understand her, that will fear her." A sharp tremor ran through the chamber. Elliot leapt to his feet. That wasn't geothermal. Eshka tapped into a nearby relay node. Grainy static gave way to a burst of alarm, unauthorized activity in lower conduit sectors. Thermal scan detected foreign life signatures. "They've found the outer corridor," Elliot muttered. "They're coming." Mila stirred in her moss nest. Her golden eyes opened, patterns within them now fully formed, shifting like solar flares. She sat up slowly, unafraid. "They'll never take her," Vila said. "We run." Eshka nodded. "I know an exit path, a transport tunnel buried beneath the service core, but we must leave now." As they gathered their things, Mila stood on her own. Her hand glowed briefly, and the rocks at the edge of the chamber shimmered with golden fractals. "What is she doing?" Elliot whispered. "Listening," Vila answered, "to the planet." Moments later, heavy footfalls echoed down the tunnels. "Go," Eshka urged, leading them through a concealed exit. The sanctuary darkened as Mila passed, her light fatting into her small frame once more. But before the tunnel sealed, a squad of armored soldiers burst into the chamber, just in time to see a wall of golden light surge up between them and the exit. It pulsed once, then shattered the ceiling above, burying them beneath a collapse of crystallized ice and stone. Farther below, the fugitives climbed into a repurposed mining crawler, its systems whirred to life with a hum. As they moved through darkness lit only by their stolen pathfinders, a soft chime rang from Elliot's comm. "A message," he said, "encrypted high level." He opened it. "Elliot Harlow, I speak on behalf of the Trilixer Provisional Council. We've traced the light signature of the child. We request her return, not for power but for peace. She is our last harmony. Contact us." Vila's eyes shimmered. "They know." Elliot looked at her. "Do we trust them?" "We may have no choice." As the crawler rumbled into the frost beyond Brenna 12's core, the stars above swirled like beckoning roads. Mila looked up, and for the first time reached toward them. Elliot took Vila's hand.